What's up? What's happening, folks? Welcome back to the channel, Sports, Life, and Politics TV. Today, we're going to be going over the Salvador Ramos case. There's a lot of questions that has not been answered. There's a lot of confusion. There's a lot of things that people want to know that is not being told by the police, by the news media, that people just want answers and people want to get to the bottom of things about exactly what's going on. I think people want to try to keep this thing on the surface, but by now I think a lot of people understand that a lot of these things that are happening are not happenstance. They're not coincidental. They're not accidents. And most definitely, they're not goddamn random. You know, when I was coming up as a kid, there was a movie that came out. It was called Children of the Corn. Now, if you 35 plus, you probably remember this movie. It was about a bunch of little godless bastards who had no respect for adults, decided to kill all the adults in town. And the reason why I brought that movie up is because you see all these young killers of these mass shootings are basically like empty vessels. They search these websites, and a lot of times these people find themselves on websites and in group chats and in things that you couldn't imagine. And a lot of times they find Luciferianism, believe it or not. Just like the Columbine kids, those kids were devil worshippers. A lot of these kids, they get on the internet and somehow they find Satan. And that's why I came up with the movie Children of the Corn. Because a lot of times there are things that are happening that we just can't comprehend. We're not understanding. We're like, what the hell is going on? Why are these things happening? Why are young men just flipping out like this? Why are young men willing to shoot up whole schools, buildings, jobs, wherever they might be, Walmart, and then kill themselves? Why? You know, when we was coming up as kids, we were forced to go to church. They forced religion onto us. And some people say that's a bad thing. But as time goes on, it looked like a damn good thing because it gives you a sense of morals and values. It gives you a baseline of what's right and what's wrong. I'm going to go over this one clip. It's a movie called Vampire in Brooklyn. It's the preacher scene. Some people might say, this video, Eddie Murphy ain't got nothing to do with this and it's such and such, but hear me out. Let's take a look.
Brothers and sisters, we come here time after time and we talk about the same old scene. Right.
And you hear him say, time after time, it's kind of like the mass shootings, y'all. Time after time, we come in and we talk about the same old, same old. Keep on talking, Eddie.
We're talking about Jesus. Jesus had and Jesus went. Jesus had and Jesus walked over. Jesus. But I don't want to talk about Jesus this evening. Because that the big man teaches us is two sides to every story. Not one, but two. A story is not one side. A story has duality.
And once again, that's one of the main principles of Luciferianism, witchcraft, is duality. Black and white, red and blue, up and down. Let's hear him speak. Let's hear him preach.
There's two sides there. What brings to mind the phrase, necessary evil?
Once again, these people who are over the society, that was a very important thing that he just said. Necessary evil. They truly believe that. They know that it's evil, but they believe that these things that are happening are necessary. Hear it one more time.
Now, a story is not one side. A story has duality. There's two sides there. What brings to mind the phrase, necessary evil? Now, I know many of you may hear the phrase necessary evil and you say to yourself, that don't even make no sense to me. You can't do no such thing as necessary. How's evil necessary? That don't That's plans and strife, evil and necessary. You see, because without bad, there is no good. Without light, there is no dark. You need both these things. You hear what I'm saying? If every day is a sunny day, well, then what's a sunny day? Well, the bottom line, brothers and sisters, what I'm trying to tell you tonight is that evil is necessary. Evil is necessary, thereby it is necessary. Evil must be good.
And there it is. I'm not going to keep going in this video, but I just want to give you, because he said the bottom line in this society, evil has become good. Evil is necessary. Good is bad. In this country now, whether you're white, black, Asian, Mexican, no matter what race you are, Muslim, no matter what religion, we had a baseline of morals and values. We've lost that. Like, what is more? We don't even know what the baseline of morals and values are anymore. They've taken God out of school. When I was coming up, I remember hearing that. Like, they're going to take God out of school. They're going to do such and such. And we should hear them. Like, no way. They did it. And now evil is necessary. Evil is good. You know, like some people, they might watch this video. They'll show you. I'm going to show you the duality. Some people watch this video and they'll say, damn, he on the money. He knocking it out of the park, that brother, right? And then another person watch the same video, say, this guy's a goddamn idiot. This video has nothing to do with what's going on. This guy's a dummy. Which I don't care, but I mean, people are going to agree and disagree. But the point is, we stay in a society that's so divided and so split that we can't see exactly what's going on around us. No matter what side you on, it seems like in the long term, you're on the wrong side. Me personally, I believe in God and I believe in the Bible, but this is not a Bible thumping video. It's not here to push you into that. You can have your own beliefs. You all got to meet your own maker. We all got to meet our own maker. We all got to pay for our own sins. And if you don't believe, you don't believe. That's on you. I can care less. But the point is that this is the stuff that's going on around us. This is what they wanted to push. Me showing this clip has nothing to do with Eddie Murphy or Angela Bassett. Let me go back out. Let's go over this Texas gunman inside our school. Let's go over this little clip right here.
Fourth grader was one of 17 students killed at Robb Elementary School.
Wait a minute, I'm sorry.
Well, officials say police were within the school within 4 minutes, but they ended up falling back when the gunman started shooting at them. That's when they called for additional resources. But victims' families expressed anger over the hour of terror their loved ones endured.
God knows how long my little girl were like that.
Javier Casares is the father of 10-year-old Jacqueline Casares. The fourth grader was one of 17 students killed at Robb Elementary School.
The full little firecracker. She was just all out. All that old girl, awesome. She loved to do music. She was in gymnastics.
And let me say this, may God rest all those kids' souls, and may God bless those parents. This is a terrible time, and I know a difficult time, and it's something they'll never get over. They have to live the rest of their life with this pain.
I love to be around family.
Casares lives down the street from the school and was there within minutes of hearing gunshots. He says police didn't act fast enough to save his daughter and 20 others.
They said they rushed in and all that. We didn't see that.
Police detailed the...
Now, he was there. He said the police was all around, and he didn't see the police rushing in there like they were supposed to. Now, you guys would have to agree with this. Either one or two things is happening. Either this thing was orchestrated, and they let it happen. And I'm not saying a hoax, like saying it. No, I understand this was real. I'm not saying that. I'm saying orchestrated where, somebody knew what was going on, or these guys, these cops are some of the worst officers on the planet. Some of the biggest cowards you ever seen in your life. When you hear children getting gunned down, talking about you waiting on a vest or you waiting on help, and this man is here blowing away 6 and 7 and 8-year-olds, and you can't run in there. I've seen braver people on the news. I've seen people run into fires for their neighbor. I'm talking about this is just a neighbor. They down the street, they see a neighbor, an old lady, or a person be like, I left my dog. I've seen people running houses for dogs that wasn't even theirs. I've seen more bravery from regular everyday citizens. These people that I seen had helmets, AR-15s, pistols, bulletproof vests. You have all this equipment and you make these people wait out here for an hour? Unbelievable. Keep the video going.
Events that led up to the massacre. They say the suspect crashed his grandma's pickup truck near the school and got out with a rifle and bag of ammunition. He shot at 2 people outside a neighboring funeral home as he made his way towards Robb Elementary. Police say he started shooting at the school before entering an unlocked door.
He walked in unobstructed initially. So from the grandmother's house to the bar ditch to the school, into the school, he was not confronted by anybody.
Officers were...
Yesterday when I think it was I was almost 2 days ago now, but when I made my first initial video on this, they said, the police, they such liars, they said that it was 2 officers who seen him and they started shooting at each other. The young kid was shooting at them, Salvador Ramos, and the police were shooting at him, and that turned out not to be true. He went in there unobstructed. Let's hear him again.
So from the grandmother's house to the bar ditch to the school, into the school, he was not confronted by anybody.
Officers were on the scene within 4 minutes, around 11:45. Officials say the gunman started shooting in the hallways and continued as he made his way into a classroom.
Multiple rounds, numerous rounds are discharged in the school.
Officials say 2 Uvalde police officers tried to get into the classroom but were shot at and had to take cover. That's when they called for additional resources.
During that time that they're making those calls to bring in help to solve this problem and stop it immediately, they're also evacuating personnel. When I say personnel, students, teachers. There's a lot going on.
About an hour later, tactical teams stormed the...
Now, did you hear that? It took a full hour. Now, within 15 minutes, 20 minutes, it was a bunch of police on the scene. It took them a full hour to go into the school. That is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard in my life. A full hour. As soon as the 6 or 7 cops who had AR-15s was ready, they should have took their scary asses in there. I don't know what kind of cowardly shit that was, but it was extremely cowardly. You would have to admit, either one or 2 things happened. Either this was orchestrated and they let it happen, and or these guys, the people who was on the scene, were some of the biggest cowards, are the most incompetent officers in Texas. They would have to be. That's the only thing that can come to mind.
School and put an end to the rampage, killing the gunman. Victims' families say it took too long.
So a lot more could have been prevented if they were prepared. You know, I didn't see no preparedness at all. As soon as they heard that gunshot, they should have rushed in.
Officials say they still have a lot of witness interviews to get through, including all the first responders on the scene. Once they get through that part of the investigation, they said they'll have a better sense of exactly what responding officers did and why they did it. We've also recently learned that President Joe Biden...
And let me tell y'all this. This basically ended this video right here. This particular clip, I mean. If you're expecting anybody to be held accountable for what happened, you're out of your damn mind. By the time you get to the truth on what's going on, there'll be a dogfight between a Russian and an American pilot over in Ukraine. There'll be another mass shooting. Your favorite celebrity that you love the most will die unexpectedly. The subject will be changed before you ever get to the truth. You can guarantee that. Let's go out one more clip. Let's see what else they got in here for us. And to let you know this, a lot of these police departments they're not really on the up and up. They'll lie at the drop of a hat. A lot of these police departments, I'm not going to say all because I don't like to speak in absolutes, but a lot of these police departments are ran like gangs. They have a no snitch policy. They don't hold each other accountable. Only time they hold each other accountable is when somebody steps out of line. Like say this one cop seen something and he know that cop was wrong. He can't say anything about that. He cannot. And they will lie. That's why I say, if you expected any of these people to be held accountable, you're out of your mind. I'm gonna go over this one clip because I want to prove to you that these cops, they're not gonna hold each other accountable. And I want you to see how some of these departments, especially even these sheriff departments, some of these sheriff departments are ran. I said in another video in 2006, the FBI did a study and said that the police departments in America was being overran with white supremacists. Let's take a look at this clip.
Oversight Board says numerous studies and investigations have concluded that sheriff gangs continue to operate and threaten public safety. Here's our investigative reporter, Eric Leonard.
But I think it all boils down to the fact that sheriffs are elected, and it's sacrificing public safety for power.
That's LA County Sheriff's Lieutenant Larry.
That's another sheriff. Do you know how much courage it takes for him to come out and say that? Do you know how shunned he is from all the officers, not just in LA County, but around the country? Let's hear him one more time.
I think it all boils down to the fact that sheriffs are elected, and it's sacrificing public safety for power.
That's LA County Sheriff's Lieutenant Larry A. Waldy testifying today that deputy gangs, cliques, or subgroups continue to exist and exert control inside the sheriff's department. Waldy says while he was assigned to the Compton station, members of the Executioner's deputy gang controlled overtime, access to the best assignments, and celebrated violence. He testified that...
And you know, as a black man, you know, we've been saying this about a lot of these police departments, sheriff departments for years. Hey man, these people will lie, they will set you up, they not being held accountable, and people told us we were just complaining. Hey, you Negroes be quiet over there. Shut up, you're lying. Blue Lives Matter, these cops are all good. And I'm not gonna say every cop is bad, but some of the good cops, they are absolutely terrified. I'm talking about terrified to come out. Their lives, their livelihood, their lives, their job, their pension, everything is on the line. They're terrified to come out and tell the truth. Keep the video going.
When he refused to put an Executioner's member in charge of scheduling, the gang retaliated by ordering a weeks-long work slowdown that appeared to lead to an immediate spike in violent crime.
Is there an effect upon the community with increased crime and a police slowdown?
Yes, sir.
And how would you describe that?
I would say that public safety is jeopardized.
The hearing at the Sheriff's Civilian Oversight Commission is among the latest efforts to expose and figure out what can be done about these deputy subgroups that have been part of the sheriff's culture for generations.
And don't you think for one second these same type of groups aren't in Texas. Don't you think for one second. That's why I say they'll get in there and lie. They'll get in there and cover up for each other. That's why some people might say, once again, this video has nothing to do with the stuff in Texas. It has everything to do with it because they asking these officers, these parents are losing their mind. Why y'all didn't do this? Why didn't y'all go in there? Why didn't y'all handle this way? Or why didn't y'all have this approach? They're not getting any answers. Why? Because they're going to cover up and lie. And I just want to prove to you that they will.
Earlier, the county's Inspector General, Max Huntsman, testified that some newly public documents suggest someone at Sheriff's headquarters even instructed Internal Affairs not to ask about the East LA deputy gang called the Banditos when they investigated a 2018 off-duty deputy-on-deputy beating.
But I believe it also amounts to obstruction of justice.
And it didn't got so bad that these officers will kick each other's ass. You step out of line, that's why I say your safety's on the line. It ain't just your job. It's your safety. Some of these people are violent as hell. But when it comes to showing the real violence or running their ass in there and actually killing them, the young man, what was his name, Salvador Ramos, all of a sudden they turn into cowards.
And that obstruction of justice, again, is rests with Captain Burson and the sheriff who gave that instruction?
If the sheriff gave that instruction.
Sheriff Villanueva has denied these deputy groups are much more than social.
And he's the head gang leader of these deputy sheriff gang, these gang groups in the sheriff department. This guy right here, Villanueva. I can't say his name right. Villanueva, he's one of the head members of the gang groups. Huge liar, pathological liar.
Clubs. The sheriff has ridiculed Huntsman, the oversight panel, and reports that have concluded the deputy gangs exist, like this Rand Corporation study released last fall. A current East LA deputy, testifying by audio only with his voice disguised to protect his identity, says the banditos run amok because of a lack of leadership.
The captain at the time was befriending the banditos.
And later, candidate for sheriff and retired Commander Eli Vera said Sheriff Villanueva lied to the public when the sheriff said he cleaned house at East LA and transferred out dozens of deputies tied to the banditos.
That man was so scared he had to disguise his voice. Keep the video going.
What about this suggestion of the 36 people who were transferred? Were those the leaders and the banditos who were occupying East LA?
It was not.
Deputies who...
Once again, listen to what he said. They're not going to give you the whole story, but that man said, were those the people that were transferred out? Nope. It was the people who disagreed or the people who didn't want no parts of that were transferred out.
Are said to be members of that executioner's gang at the Compton station have been linked to a number of on-duty shootings, including that of Andres Guardado, whose family says was shot in the back. That case is still under investigation. The oversight hearing and yet another newly initiated investigation into deputy gangs are supposed to lead towards some sort of reform, but the oversight board does not have the authority to enforce any changes. That power still lies with the sheriff or maybe some outside law enforcement agency like the FBI. I'm investigative.
Well, the FBI already know what's going on. The CIA, the NSA, all these other black groups within the government, they know. And let's get one thing straight. Some of these mass shootings allegedly, well, let's talk about what the CIA, what they actually involved in around the world. The CIA is involved in staging coups, overthrowing governments. They're involved in assassinations, and I don't want to offend the CIA. Look, I'm just a regular guy with a family, so I don't want to offend the CIA. This is public knowledge about what the CIA do. Assassinations and all other type of chicanery. So if they're doing that out of the country, one would have to ask, what are they involved in within the country? That's just a question. I'm just asking a question. We know that the CIA was involved in MK Ultra mind control. That's just a question. My last video I made, there it is right there. Salvador Ramos, mass shooter. You seen. And you see the shooter in Denver, Colorado at the movie theater. You see the guy from Sandy Hook. You see the new guy from Buffalo. They all kind of look similar, little mop top. Glazed eye, and their eyes look glazed over. Who knows? There's a lot of questions that's not being answered. And like I said, before you get the goddamn me answers, something major will happen in this country before you can get to the answer. There'll be something between Russia and America. There'll be something, like I said, there'll be one of your favorite celebrities will die. It'll be something that can change the subject. Just like with the Buffalo shooting. Nobody really talking about the Buffalo shooting. Now you talking about this shooting. Just like that, they can change it. Just like that. But I'm not gonna string this video on any too much longer. I appreciate y'all tuning in. I appreciate y'all watching, man. Keep your eye on the prize. As a human being, you have every right to protect yourself. I believe in gun ownership. I don't believe that you can put the toothpaste back in the tube. I think it's too late. It's like trying to pour a bottle of water in the ocean and think you're going to make a change. America is full of guns. And only taking guns from law-abiding citizens is not going to help the situation. In LA, they got carjackings. You got people being followed home. I'm down the street from where I'm from. I stay in California. It was just a home invasion. I mean, like I said, we watching this, man. The police cannot protect you. They're there to clean up the mess and pick up the bodies. They are not there. They can't protect. As you can see, the video I just showed, they got their own damn problems internally that they need to clean up. So how the hell they gonna clean up the streets when the goddamn office is dirty? That's like looking across the street telling me he needs to mow his grass and your house is on fire. You can't do it. But I appreciate y'all tuning in, man. Hit that like, hit that subscribe. I just took your ass on You Can't Trust the Police on everything they say. Right.